Is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, clouds, swing traders. Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. I see you guys piling in the house already. We got Albert, good morning to you. We got Anna, good morning. Bill, Brian, Carlos, good morning. Cindy, Corey, Frank. We just got iPhone. We just got that. That's tech. We just got tech piling in. Good morning to whoever iPhone is. Good morning to Jason J. Good morning. We got Jeff, Joe, Kevin, Mike is Peter, Shane, Tim. The squadron is piling in. Good morning to all my people out in YouTube land. We got David Cook Speaks. Good morning to you. He's saying Tesla already. Yep. If you guys got tickers, more than welcome. As always, throw those into the chat, and we will definitely look to pull those up. SPY closing all-time highs, like not even by a little bit. Not even by a little bit. So I do have this see, I don't know. I thought this line was like 533, but I got 538 now. So I don't know. Maybe I accidentally moved it, or I don't know. Maybe that's where it's been the whole time. I don't even know where that line came from, to be honest. I just have it on my chart. So I'm gonna leave it there just to see what happens around it. I don't know. But pretty fast and furious breakout. Again, we're going to need for this momentum to stop. We need a different narrative, different story. Everything is just piled on inflation. Everything's piled on the rate hikes, rate cuts, staying flat, stagflation. What Jerome Powell is eating for breakfast. It's all going to relate to Jerome Powell and the Fed and what they want to do. So right now, it's still looking good. We still have a good move from the CPI report. Very strong closing relatively at the highs of the day. So not too bad. A little bit of a gap up, small gap up, but nonetheless gap up from yesterday's close. I do have support on this one, and it is a massive move that we had yesterday. It's a big move overall for the markets. Could we continue? Of course. Would somebody want to take profit? I don't know. I mean, I feel like that would make sense. Again, looking at the chart though, as I say that, I'm like, I don't really want to take profit on it. Like I've got a lot of positions. I'm not like, oh, I got to get out of this market. So I mean, somebody's got to somebody had to have a swing out there though, or someone's got to hit targets eventually. Where's their targets at? I don't know. But if we do get a little pullback, and again, it could happen after that move that we had the other day. Look for support around 529.22. That's what I want to see hold. Otherwise, we could probably go back and look at like halfway through that candle somewhere, 527.95. There's no reason rhyme except for maybe you get a little better risk reward if you're buying about halfway 618 of yesterday's candle on a pullback. But right now it still looks pretty bullish, and maybe we could get some kind of chop out of the gate and probably continue. I do think though, with that candle, that close, we probably had higher. I don't see why we wouldn't. Lucian's in the house. What's up, Lucian? Got Joe in YouTube land. Good morning. Clarice, good morning. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm still fairly bullish, and it's just how do we get there? And that's what we got to try to map out as traders. How in what time frame do we get there? Wayne, good morning to you. We got Qs, same thing, very strong close. We were opening essentially at that last little support. We actually opened a tad above it, dipped down below for a second, and then just skyrocketed higher. So Qs still look really good. We were saying this, we brought this up in the room. I mean, again, we're looking for some kind of black swan. Maybe the Nvidia earnings. I don't know at this point. I don't know what reverses the market. We had a lot of F13s, which is like the reports from like a lot of the investors that come out that tell you what the hedge funds are buying, what individual investors are buying. There was one of them that was pretty much unloading Nvidia, which I found interesting, and they were buying the IWM, so that's a essentially interest rate play, but interesting enough. So just something to keep a lookout for. So again, does that mean Nvidia is going to go bearish? Not necessarily, but would it make sense to take some profits and kind of throw it somewhere else? Yeah, that could make some sense. But we have the Qs, support resistance on the Qs for right now. I have at slightly above it. We but five. We got 452.82. Right now we're sitting a little bit above that, so still above the support. Still looking pretty bullish. I've got no targets Uh, we got no resistance above us. Really good break. The weekly chart probably looks insane. Yep. Weekly chart looks absolutely insane. Look at that. Look at that candle that we did on the week of April 15th. Strong bearish close. Everything was like not looking great there. A couple inside candles, small candles, made its way to the top. We still have, this is a live candle. We still have 2 days left this week. So we have today, we have Friday. This has a chance. It doesn't look like it right now, but it has a chance of some kind of like crazy inverted hammer. So we'll see where this thing wants to close. But at this point, everything still looks fairly bullish. The fact we got above that big red candle, to the like, hey, maybe we're overbought case. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 candles in a row that are bullish. But then you go back here and you go, okay, but here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll see where this candle wants to close for the weekly though, but it's definitely an impressive one. As long as that doesn't turn into inverted hammer, I think we're still good. TLT. Santilla. Yeah, yesterday, I don't know. I tried. Santilla says, good morning, happy you're back. I tried to log into YouTube, but then just went to like a private channel or something. It was very strange. So, and then I shot Stephen King a message. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what's going on. And he looked at it, he goes, no, the settings are fine. So I don't know, maybe YouTube was glitching and just didn't want me to be on, I guess. I don't know. TLT, that is still running pretty positive. The fact we got out of the little chop zone from 90.82 to about 89.80. Stay above that. That's good. We do have some resistance on TLT approaching. So 92.43, and then we have 92.56. But decent little move there. Still nice little gap up on TLT. First one I saw was Tesla, but if you guys have tickers, throw those into the chat. We'll cover those. Tessie. Tessie. Can't you see? The market's trying to rally without me. Yeah, a little bit of a gap down. Was there news on Tesla? Tesla told to face autopilot lawsuit. Tesla told to face autopilot lawsuit in the wake of safety probes. All right, so a little bit of a lawsuit headline. I don't think that's too much. I don't think that's too big of a deal. Everybody loves to sue. Everybody, we're so sue happy in the United States. Gives us something to do, helps pass the time, I guess. But yeah, a little bit of a gap down. You still got this 20, I believe it's a 20 EMA. Yeah, so we have the 20 to give us a little bit of support. We also got some VPOCs lower too, so look for support around 172.26. We got 171.87. So a few levels of support. This is also a retest gap, so probably at open. I think this one probably ends up getting bought back up. Bigger thing for me is watch resistance 175.01. If we can get past that, then I got targets to 177.52. And I think we survive at least the lawsuit headline from there, but probably leaning a little bit more to the chop on that one. I saw another ticker come in somewhere up higher. Nope. AMD looks real good. Yep. I was looking at this one, even on the weekly chart. I was just going through weekly charts like a psycho yesterday. I don't know, like certified psycho, like not even like Bates Motel type psycho. That's what I was just looking at all the weeklies, but looks pretty good. What I was really liking on it is this right here. So it is probably one of my favorite potential bounces because it is AI. It is chip. It's got it's not really AI, I guess, but it's chip for AI. But where are we getting this bounce after this nice, I mean, beautiful breakout? We pulled back decent amount. We just landed right at that 618. Small little dip below it. We still have all of our moving averages stacked correctly, so that's good. And then we did throw in a little high wave hammer candle. So what I would like to see for this run to continue is for us to get above this candle right here. So somewhere in the 162.48. If we can get a close above that for this week, I think then this 618 looks to hold. Otherwise, we are opening right. Just slight. I mean, I don't know how accurate my numbers are. I just kind of threw them up there, but with this line, if these numbers are accurate, we're slightly above that 50% retracement, which looks good. Um, so okay, we can make a case, but otherwise, we've had that beautiful run right to 618, some sideways chops since. On a daily chart, this is a retest gap. So maybe looking for some kind of a pullback first could make some sense. I think we're above all those VPOCs though too. Yeah, I'm not looking for a full retest down here. If we do get a pullback, this is where I would look 159.17. I think I prefer almost a little tiny pullback, high wave candle 160.31, and something we could take a breakout there to 163.44. But yeah, we have some room to the upside, and even on the daily chart, this does look also a little inverted head and shoulders too. So I'm a fan. I'm a fan of it. I wouldn't mind looking for some AMD bullish today. Let's get that one higher on the list. ZB and ZTO. ZB says I'm holding some DJT shares. Do you think that would be good to sell? Got at 43. I'll take a look at the Donald J. Trump in a second. We got CB, so Chubb, yep. Uh this comes off the F-13s what we talk about. So this comes off that report that says what they're holding. Huge gap up. It is Buffett, and the Buffett fan club is like, hey, Buffett's got it, so I should too. I I get it. He is Buffett. I mean, he's not Roaring Kitty. He's not, but he's doing okay for himself still. He's still doing okay. But yeah, he when that report comes out, it doesn't mean he's buying it today. He bought it in here somewhere. So you're already coming in. If you are buying this price, you're coming in after he got it already. And it must be good to be Warren Buffett. I will say that for many reasons, obviously. I mean, one, the fact that he lives to 200 years old is crazy, but it's got to be good because like he knows he could buy anything. It comes out on the report, and that automatically is going to jump it up. He's not the one that will sell it on this move for sure. So he'll be in it for a while. Like it's not a quick thing. He's not day trading. So that being said, I wouldn't jump in here for me personally. I don't know if we go up higher from here. It's definitely looking like a all-time high on this one. It's an insurance company, but I would see if we get a little pullback first. We saw even Oxy was the last, I guess, big one that he bought, and he does tend to buy multiple times. So if it comes back, I'm sure Warren Buffett would be buying more of it as well. But he got in. I don't know what his price was. I think somewhere under 60 or close to 60, somewhere down here. If you think you're going to miss a trade, just have some patience. It will come back. This one came back multiple times. Actually, Oxy kind of looks like it's setting up for that's a decent retest spot if we want to kind of break out of there. But I wouldn't get so concerned. Keep in mind his plays are longer term plays, and this gap is solely on the fact that just Warren Buffett bought it. Lou says, "What do I think about Oxy? I mean, a swing bouncing along. Yeah, I don't mind that location from what we just looked at. First I got to pull up the actual ticker though. Oxy. So that's not a bad run. You're getting a good bounce off that 200. Again, it is Warren Buffett approved. So there you go on that. But yeah, not a bad spot to try. So if you're in it for a swing, not bad. I like it. And again, that Warren Buffett safety blanket, if it does come down lower, you've seen it bounce off that spot multiple times. He has shown that he is also buying it continuously. So yeah, it's right at that 618. So not a bad location for Oxy. And I think XOM and CVX, all of them were kind of moving as well. So ZTO gap up on earnings, missed on earnings per share by 7 cents, and then you did beat by $91 million. So good beat on the revenue portion. Big resistance coming into this thing at 23.68, so be careful of that. I would, if you're trying to play this fade, I would have a stop anywhere above, so probably about $24, somewhere in that realm. But we are approaching a high volume area, so a little bit of resistance up here, and then I think we probably end up fading this one. Quite honestly, it is a gap and go from yesterday, but the last 2 days were just inside that. What candle is this? Tuesday candle, Monday candle. So I think this one probably acts a little bit more like a retest. Let's take a look. DJT. So, is it Ali? It's ALE. I'm not sure how to. If I'm saying that one correct, and both of those options could be wrong too. But if it is, I apologize. Otherwise, you say I'm holding DJT shares. Do you think it would be good to sell? So here's the interesting thing: is that's up to you. I can't give you advice on if you should sell or not sell. What I would say about the company in general is it doesn't move on fundamentals. It's going to move on what those letters stand for, DJT. As long as the polls look good for Donald Trump, especially if Donald Trump wins the election, this thing is going to probably end up flying. But if you're looking at the company as a company, no, I don't think the revenue really is there even for $53 strike price. You could look to sell covered calls. Again, I don't know how many shares you have, but you could look to sell covered calls, make some income, pull out some risk that way from DJT. But if I do think, and again, who knows? There's the legal cases, there's rallies, there's things going on. The next 5 months are probably going to be pretty active for this stock, I would assume. And then if DJT does win, I think this thing will probably go nuts. It's probably going to get sold off after, I would assume. But you're playing not the company, you're playing the election, and you're playing the man himself. So just be careful of that, whatever you choose to do. But again, if you have a bunch of shares and you want to sell some covered calls, and you're probably getting decent premium on those, and it's a good way to kind of take money out, get paid while you hold it, just in case. CSCO. Costco. What's the name of the indicator for the volume like sideways volume profile? The blue one, Carlos? Cisco beat on revenue by 5 cents, earnings per share. They did a surprise 167 million to the higher side. That's a good gap. That's a big one for Cisco. That is definitely a retest gap. What I don't know. This market is so stupidly bullish. That is definitely breaking out of a lot of resistance for sure. We got so here's my struggle on this one is if I'm looking at the VPOC zone, not session volume profile. Yeah, I'll get to that in a second. If you get down to I have support at 49.91, and then really the next resistance isn't up till 51.75. You're pinned about 50% halfway on both. So you could flip a coin out of the gate, maybe get a decent high wave candle, something like that would be fun, I think. And there is some room in both directions, which is fine, except it reduces my risk to reward realistically. So what I would like to see is this thing kind of fade, seeing that this is a retest gap. So I would like to see a fade. I don't know if it happens, but even if it comes down to like $50.30, that's a good spot to look. And then the next one down from there is like 49.91, somewhere in that zone. That would give me a much better risk reward to the higher side. But you're kind of right in between where I have, and again, it's not even if you go bullish at open. After all those people already went bullish, and you still got some resistance on the way up to that target. So it's not going to be an easy long, but you are breaking out of a lot of resistance. I'll move this one up on the list. I kind of want to see where this one wants to open first. I almost want to give it 15 minutes. Give me a 15-minute candle and then kind of make a decision. See which way it wants to go. But to the indicator question, this one right here is Lux Algo. I think you're talking about the blue lines here. So yep, this is LUX Algo. This one. And then you're gonna type in volume. They have a whole bunch of indicators, so just type in volume profile. Yep. And I didn't change any of the settings, they're all just the same. So just default. The other one, the session volume profile, that's these lines here. All right, that's gonna be those little red lines that I use. That's session volume profile. So I have two different ones I use. Yep. Yeah, look at this too. We're right in. I mean, there's no liquidity in here. Yeah. Based on the rest of the market, probably bullish if I had to throw a dart at something, but I would love for it to come back first. Give me a better price would be great. MGNI. That one looks really interesting. Magnite. Uh, Again, I do want to see a pullback. That is a green candle from yesterday. All that's still inside day. My assumption is, and let me see what the short float is on this one. I'm not as familiar with it. Finviz, MGNI, 4.7. So it's got a little bit, nothing too crazy. I love the fact we're taking out this candle. Is this on news? It's definitely not on earnings. Magnite price target maintains, so they got to maintain $15 share by Needham. And considering we're at 11, there's still some more upside. I do like the fact a lot I mean, that was our last big volume candle. Target on this one for me would be about $11.31. So you still got some room to the higher side. Again, I think risk reward would get better if we could get to like 1062, somewhere in that zone, and then look for the breakout. If the short float was higher, I would say maybe get to like 1165, somewhere there. But as a swing, I'd probably let this thing settle down. It is already a pretty fairly big move. But and then or not yesterday, but this big red candle's VPOC is $10, $10.01. So that would be a much better entry if we get one. But we're definitely taking out some shorties on that one. Not bad. All right, let's see. Walmart. Yep, that one's gapping up on earnings, I believe. Yep, 63.19 right now. We got 5 more minutes. Okay. All-time highs, because that's what the market does. Yeah, probably except for Intel, Tim. We'll look at that one. We'll look at that one. But Walmart, that is a good looking gap up. Again, every single person ever is profitable on this move. Also, keep in mind they just had that split too. So, like, if you really want to counter in what that price was, let's see, 3-to-1 split. So that's actually putting it about 189 right now, almost 190 a share. I just I don't know. My guess would be higher, but it it will be higher at some point than this current price. I'll put it that way. For day trade purpose, I'd have to let this thing settle down. Give me a couple candles. I've in normal markets, people might want to take some profits, being that every single one of them has gains. But we've seen recently you hit that all-time high and just does nothing but run further. So it's not my comfort. It's not my comfort spot. Those all-time high gaps. But if I was already in it, I wouldn't really be too terrified. Intel. Uh-huh. So red candle, but that's also a retest gap. I would look for a fade on this one too. You got the first resistance, and I think this is going to be a big one, 31.68. If we could get some closes above it, I'm interested. We got the 20 EMA approaching us. That's going to hold us back and give us a little additional resistance, I would assume. So yeah, give me that pullback. I'm going to act as this is a green candle because it did actually close higher than the previous day, which was green as well. So you got some people who maybe trying to play a double bottom down here, and I think we get that 31.68 is a little bit of resistance. A close over that though, I think that would look pretty phenomenal for a setup. We'll move this one higher because it should be fun to watch. Tesla's getting a little green candle pre-market. Let's see which one I'm missing. RKLB. Rocket Labs. This one I think does have a big short float. Or at least used to. Let's see if it still does. Yeah, 20% short float. Okay. At least at open today, it's so right now it's a little bit of a gap and go to the bullish side, but right into resistance from yesterday's VPOC. The short float only really comes into play when shorts start getting trapped on things. And I don't think they're really that trapped yet. So not a huge edge one way or the other at open on this one. But it is a gap and go. It just has to get through that little bit of resistance. Yeah, Under Armour got killed. They're down like 10%-ish. They beat on the revenue. They beat on earnings per share. Maybe their guidance was weak, potentially. I'm not sure exactly why this one's gapping down. You're definitely so this is a place. I mean, you got a red candle yesterday. You've been trending down. More than likely, you probably get some kind of a fade, but this one again is breaking through some really strong support. So I think this one probably goes up at open. I think this will be some kind of a retest a little bit. To what extent, I'm not sure, but maybe watch for like that 640 is going to be the first one. And if we start breaking through that, you got about 660, 659. I don't think we retest yesterday's candle, not today, at least anyway. And then if we have some kind of crazy candle and bullish engulfing candle, something looks absolutely nuts, well, that's probably going to be a bit of time to look for that longer term reversal. But for right now, yeah, probably heads up higher. The question is targets wise. Everybody on YouTube land, that is the morning bell. I appreciate you joining us each and every day. But unfortunately, that bell means I got to disconnect. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button if you have not done so.